Hello, today we will dive again into the world of PKM, Personal Knowledge Management. And we will discuss the differences between shallow thinking and deep thinking, but also the outer world and the inner world. What this means, how I apply this to the three tools that I use, Reader, Tana and Heptabase, we will find out in the video. So let's go!
Paperless movement, your productivity, your way.
So before we dive into this, let's have a look at our ICOR framework. In ICOR, we differentiate between PKM, which is the personal knowledge management, and so many talk about on YouTube. People say this is your second brain, and then they look at just one tool, something we don't believe at the paperless movement. We need to have a holistic view as busy professionals on all the tools that we use in our business, okay? Today we will focus, however, on the PKM, the personal knowledge management part. But you see there's personal project management, business knowledge management, and business project management as well. If you're interested to learn more about this, check out the other videos on this channel or join us in the Paperless Movement membership where we will have all the courses to help you out with your tools. So today, let's dive into the three tools we use at the Paperless Movement for PKM. Does it mean that you need to use these tools? No, as I keep saying over and over again, maybe other tools work better for you. That's why you have to understand your tool agnostic concepts and workflows that you apply to your tools, and then you can move to any tool that you like. For us, by applying these concepts and workflows in these three tools, they work best for our situation and our work life. So in order to better understand why we use three tools instead of one, let's dive into the differentiation between shallow, deep thinking, outer world, inner world, and so on. Here's our personal knowledge management. That's me, okay? And here are the three tools that we use for this. Let's start with discussing when to use Reader and Tana. So Reader and Tana are really used for shallow thinking in our system. And shallow thinking means that this is a lot I capture during the day. I just need a place where I can quickly capture things and store quickly away so I don't forget them, so I don't have the FOMO, fear of missing out, and so on. And why two tools in shallow thinking? Well, Reader is a read later app. This is really compensating my FOMO, as I just mentioned, the fear of missing out. So if I come across a video, an interesting article or something like that, I can quickly forward it to Reader, read later app, and then at a later point, when I have my routine to process the inboxes in my different tools, I will check out, was it really worth saving? I will be in a different state of mind when I recheck what I have in the read later app. So this is rather a shallow thinking system where I just throw stuff in there that I might not look up at all again, as it was just very interesting at the moment I saw it, but it's no longer interesting later on. Tana, on the other hand, is a shallow thinking system for meeting notes, for taking notes about people. This is very powerful, this tool. And when it comes to quickly capture information, there is also a mobile application called Tana Capture that allows me to quickly capture my audio. It transcribes it. It has an inbox where I then find all the information that I can quickly process later. The superpower of Tana is really that only with keyboard shortcuts, I can easily move information very quickly around, give it context by adding super tags there, and therefore organizing my information while I'm capturing it. So if I'm sitting in a meeting and I write something down about a person, I will just mention this person, then give it a hashtag meeting, and I immediately have it organized in a database. The person got an update about some insights that I had about this. If this is too much theory and you want to see more how I use Tana, check out the channel, as I have some Tana videos there how I do this, okay? But here we have to look in a high level. I don't look into the tools in order to explain to you this, because otherwise this video becomes too complex. Sometimes it's great to zoom out and to look at your tools holistically and how they work together. So this is really, again, very quickly capturing articles, YouTube videos, things like that. They move into Reader. If I have meeting notes, updates, thought process, the starting of my thought process, I start in shallow thinking, laying out an outline for a video, for example. I would start in Tana and maybe I move it into Heptabase, which then is my deep thinking system, okay? Deep thinking really means that I need to have another level of how I look at things. Heptabase gives me whiteboard like we are here in Miro. It's also something for deep thinking, but it's temporary deep thinking. So I use Miro to lay out concepts to understand problems better. And then I move the end result into another tool. In Heptabase, however, I'm evolving things. So for example, self-development, thinking about me being a father, for example. I have a whiteboard on Heptabase where whenever something comes up of being a good father, I know exactly where to place it in order to expand my whiteboard on Heptabase and not bury it in any of the shallow thinking tools. This being said, I could quickly save an article about this. And here it becomes very important. Another concept that I already showed on this YouTube channel and that we teach in ICOR is the capturing beast. We have buckets where we save our information to instantly understand where to place information best. And these buckets are my current projects, key elements, and topics. And let's say being a good father is a key element. That's something that's ongoing in my life and I want to evolve on this. So therefore, this bucket should appear in all systems. So whenever I come across something in an article, I want to quickly save it. I give it just a tag in Reader, father, for example, a key father, key element father. And therefore I know exactly where to store it. So the moment I start thinking again in my deep thinking system, I can go to my shallow thinking systems and leverage the information there. But I avoid, by using just one tool, to clutter up the system with a lot of things that might not be necessary. So therefore I have a way to distill into these systems. For those who don't know, Reader is part of Readwise. The company Readwise created also the Reader Read Later app. And there is a video on this channel as well where I explain the difference between Reader and Readwise. So if you want to watch this, I put it in the link in the description below. But right now, let's bring it in here and let's see what Readwise is actually doing in this, okay? If I add anything to the Read Later app and I start highlighting things in the Read Later app, the highlights will move on to Readwise. And Readwise integrates with other tools like Tana and Heptabase and many others. So therefore, these highlights get forwarded to my other systems as well. So therefore, when I start thinking, I already have my highlights at hand by just searching them. If I do a search or something, it appears there. I can go to the database and find the highlights there in order to place them then to the whiteboard and things like that. If you are interested to see more about this, let me know in the comments below. But now you see already how things are more connected. Now the important thing is that we also differentiate between the outer and the inner world. And this is where everything falls into place, where all the things make sense now. Because Heptabase is really something that I use for my inner world. And inner world in this context means it's me thoughts. These are thoughts that coming up in my mind that I'm carrying around and I'm thinking about and I want to evolve. And therefore, these thoughts come into the system here. And if we adjust this, it makes even more sense to put it this way, because a deep thinking also starts in Tana. Again, if I do the outline, I move things up and down. This goes to a certain point. I realize now I need another system in order to think even deeper about this topic. And then I move things into Heptabase. And if you want to check out how I do this, there's a video as well on this channel. And here we have the outer world, okay? So you see Tana combines the inner and the outer world. And the outer world just means articles, the web, YouTube videos, things like that. And now here we go. This is the final result that shows really how I'm using these tools in combination. And I know exactly what type of information I place where. Occasionally, maybe I find something from the outer world that I place into Heptabase. So this might be a bit overlapping. Here I really show the average. So usually there are thought processes and I'm thinking about things and I'm reaching out into the outer world in order to find things. This is not meant by these things. This is what we are bombarded with. Okay, what is coming up during the day. So you're searching for something completely different on the web and you suddenly see an article or a YouTube video and think, man, I don't want to forget this. I want to read this later. Well, this is where you have the Read Later app. Instead of going to Heptabase and try to find the perfect place, where do I place this now? And thoughts come up. This is where I either quickly capture something in Tana using the audio capture while I'm walking, driving in the car, something like that. This is so much easier to add it to Tana. And then a later moment at the day, I have the mood and the time to sit down and then calmly process the information that I captured either inside Tana and organize it, or move it into my deep thinking system to the relevant places. So this takes away the anxiety that whenever something comes up, any information that I need to capture, that I need to go to a system like Notion, Evernote, they all improve the way they can collect information. However, you always have to think about where to place it. And Heptabase as well. If there would be at least be an inbox in there, so if I capture something, move it there and it appears in an inbox that I can process later, that would be already a big advantage. So I hope this video helped you to get a better understanding of why we are using these three tools in combination. And if you really want to dive deep about shallow thinking, deep thinking, and apply it to your own system, I invite you to join us in the Paperless Movement membership and go through the ICOR journey in order to maximize your productivity system. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so I can catch you up in the next one.